Alright, rounding in science class is very similar to what you've been taught in the past. The only real exception is when you are presented with a 5. Just as a quick review, when you're rounding, you want to examine the figure following, basically the number that comes to the right of the number that's supposed to be last in your measurement. This figure will tell us how to round. So, first rule says if this figure is less than 5, you drop it and all the figures to the right of it. So what would that look like? Well, if we wanted to round something to 3 significant figures, well, first we have to find the third significant figure. Remember, significant figures, you start from the left, find the first non-zero number. In this case, it would be the 2. So 1, 2, 3. This 2 right here is the last number that will be on our measurement. So the rule says we have to look at the number following it. Okay, it's the 3 that's going to determine how we round the 2, the last number on our measurement. Well, if the number that we're looking at is less than 5, we drop it and anything to the right of it. So 28.23, that 3 gets dropped and becomes 28.2. If we have 578.1 grams, well, we need to find the third significant figure, 1, 2, 3. In this case, it's the 8. So it is the figure that is immediately after it that will determine how to round. When it's a 1, that's the number that's less than 5. We drop it and anything that would come after it, and we write our answer, 578 grams. The second case is when we have a number that is more than 5. In that case, we increase the number by 1. In other words, we say that we round up. So if rounding to 2 significant figures, if we have 5.998, that's the first, that's the second, that's the third number right there. Okay, that's the one that would tell us how to round the second one. So 9 is larger than 5, so that says round up. Well, there's a little carryover here, so because we now have 5.9 which needs to get rounded up, and 5.9 simply becomes 6.0. We need to keep that 0 there because we needed 2 significant figures. The third case, and the one that may be a little different from what you're used to, is when you are presented with a 5 as the number that determines how to round. Okay? And the rule is when it's an odd number that it is following, you'd round up. And that would look like this. Well, rounding the 4 significant figures, we find the fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's our 5 that's determining how we round. Well, the 3 is an odd number. And so when we have an odd number, we round up. So 67.83 becomes 67.84. And when we have an even number preceding the 5, then we stay the same. So rounding to 3 significant figures, 1, 2, 3. There's our 5. The 5 has to round the 2, but the 2 is even. Therefore, it just remains 58.2.